Let me take you through this setup. So I've got two recycled space blankets or emergency blankets formed into a bit of a V shape. I've got Chloe in the center of that, and dead center above her, I've got our main light. It's a Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro, and I've got a second one just down here to put a bit of light in the lower half of the picture as well. Both of these lights have gels, and the final picture looks like this. But of course it didn't start here, so let's rewind and break it down. You might remember some time ago we did a video with the gold side of some space blankets or emergency blankets, and at the end I said I'd do something else with them, and they just got shoved in a bag. But now's the time where I'm going to do something with the silver side. So I have made a jerry rig, all spare parts, extension to the grip arm of a C-stand, and I'm going to hang the silver side of this onto there. Now, a few little tips for this. First of all, I need a nice clean edge, so I'm actually going to start at the far edge and then clamp my way across. Don't put a clamp in the middle. You'll see why when we get a bit further in, it will affect the hang. This stuff isn't stretchy, so I can't stretch it, but I'm going to pull it tight as I can, and then elevate it up in the air. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Chloe. Chloe's going to be the model for this photo session. We'll talk about the lighting in a little bit because we still need to work out what we're going to do with this silver background. At the moment, it's just sort of hanging down. If I take a picture of it, it looks a bit like this, which is perfectly okay, but it's just a little bit, well, it's not really crumpled. It's not really uncrumpled. It's just there. What I need is some weight at the bottom, and it doesn't really matter what you use. It's never going to be in the pictures. So I've got just a spare bit of timber, and I'm going to attach it to the base down here, like that. And then at the other end, now it's worth noting I'm only using 4 clamps. You might be tempted to put one in the middle, but that will add a line going through. So keep it simple with your clamps. But the difference is, well, Chloe, come back in. Same lighting, same background, same Chloe, but now the picture looks like this. There is so much more direction and purpose to the light. There's some texture, but it's not overpowering. And compared to the first picture, this just looks more deliberate. I liked it so much I thought we'd do it twice, and there's a reason for this. It just looks aesthetically more interesting, particularly with the reflections we get here. Now, I've used C-stands and grip arms and a whole bunch of things just to make this happen, but I could have used just the corner of the room. So why have I done it this way? Well, stick around and you'll find out as we get into the photography bit. But first, well, we need Chloe in here. So Chloe, in you come. So Chloe's going to go stand in the center of the V. Let's just take a picture with the lighting as it stands now. Who knows, maybe it's exactly the right lighting. Spoiler alert, it's not, but this is how it looks. So that, I think, has a lot more going for it than just the straight single sheet. Although it doesn't look like a V because it's shiny, we get that impression by the double reflection either side of Chloe. And there's another advantage as well. When we did the gold video, I had to think about surrounding the outside so we didn't get reflections from the outside world. But this time, well, light goes in straight lines, so the reflections are more or less just internal. I don't have to do all of that masking and hanging of white fabric, which is a win. We've reached the point where we need to sort out the lighting, and I've got some options. I've got a hard light, and I've got a couple of soft boxes. I genuinely don't know which is going to be the best one, but we'll find out soon enough. But before we get there, we need to put some default settings into the camera. So I'm going to go with my flash sync speed, 250th of a second. I'm going to go with f8 for a good depth of field. ISO 200, and no flash gives me this, no picture, which means the room lights aren't affecting the picture and everything you see from now on is down to the flashes. Right, let's start with the hard light. The hard light is really punchy light. We get strong reflections in the shiny stuff, but also strong shadows underneath Chloe's chin. I've gone with an elevated lighting position because I want dramatic lighting, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I was after. So let's try a different size softbox. Let's go with the next one up in size. which is the Easy Lock 25-inch beauty dish. Ignore the name, it's not a beauty dish, it's definitely a softbox. And if I put it in the same position with the same settings, I get this, which has a definitely different feel. There is less light in the lower half of the picture, but the top half, particularly the shadow under Chloe's chin, just has a little bit less of a hard edge, which I think I possibly prefer over the hard light. So if that works better, let's try the much larger one. This is the 42-inch beauty dish. Again, ignore the name, it's definitely not a beauty dish. Surely if it's bigger, it's better. It's certainly heavier. I'll probably have to put a sandbag on my light for this one because the end results, well, they're gonna look like this. This time the softness is at another level. In fact, I'm starting to think that that's possibly too soft. What I want is something in the middle, and luckily, I mean, I've actually got it, haven't I? Which is the 25-inch beauty dish. So that's the light I'm gonna use. The only problem is I've now got to deal with the lower half of the picture where it was a little bit dark, but I've got a plan. And my plan is this, which is a second Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro, and well, it's just gonna go there, or maybe not there, there. So it's not actually in my picture. So that light is on 1/8 power. This one, without any modifier, 1/128th power. Let's see if this does what I'm hoping to do by taking a quick test photo. Here we go. Yeah. So that puts illumination in the bottom half of the picture. It keeps the illumination on Chloe. It just throws something in there to create the final look I'm going for. And that is basically this setup done. So Chloe, are you ready? Let's take a few pictures like this without the tripod. There's two reasons I'm using old and particularly crumpled space blankets, partly because the new ones have like a brick pattern all over them, but mostly because that slight crumpling when it's stretched out helps to remove any stray reflections that might creep in. It just looks a little bit neater, I think. To mix it up a little bit, I've added a blue gel into the top light, and for the fill light, I'm going to go with a similar colour but slightly different, purple. I think that colour combination should work really well, but there's only really one way to find out, and that's take some test photos. But remember, when you add gels to your light, you're adding sunglasses to your lights. You might need to adjust the power of the lights to accommodate. Normally about a stop. So why am I using C-stands and arms rather than just hanging these from the wall? Well, it's for this reason. It's so I can move them around and create a different angle for my corner. That affects the reflections that you see, but also how Chloe interacts with the whole area. Well, there you go. That was a great fun shoot. I really love the simplicity of the space blanket background, but also the color. It just added the final touch. Now, if you want to find out more about the gear I'm using, you'll find gear links in the video description down below. They'll take you back to Adorama. And whilst you're down there, why not give this video a thumbs up if you've made it this far? I guess you've enjoyed it. And of course, click on the subscribe button. If you haven't already done so, just the once will do. And if you want to see how I used this with the gold side in the original video, you'll find that video right up there. Go watch that next. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.